യൂട്യൂബ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ മ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യണം.
ഏതാ?
അല്ല, യൂട്യൂബ് എടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അത് മ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യണം എന്ന് പറയാം.
ഓക്കെ
ഓക്കെ. Good morning, everyone. We are starting our session, getting started with serverless in Azure functions. So with me is Jitin. He's a senior developer with Soxo Solutions. So Jitin, we can wait for 2 more minutes and then we can start.
Okay, Andrej. Okay, thank you. Hello, hello everybody. I think we can start now. Okay, so yeah, myself, my name is Jitin Shakran. Actually, I'm a .NET developer working in Software Solutions Private Limited and operating coaching program. Yeah. So today I'm planning to discuss about developing an Azure function with Python. Okay, so that is topic we have to cover in this 1 hour session. I'm planning to cover what is Python, the basics of Python, what are the Azure functions we can derive, and then how can we create a function using Python, then how to deploy that into our Azure portal. That are the things we will discuss in this session. So we can start. I just share my screen and I prepare a presentation for that. I'm sure we can start now. That is the topic, developing Azure functions with Python. I think, or I can see my slides. And then, so these are the topics we have to cover in this section. Python and Azure function basics. Then Python installation development. Then Azure function call tools, installation and Docker development, deployment. How to deploy that Azure function into Docker. Then I just show a demo. How can we create a function? It's related to the ML related function and how it works. We can show that things also. Okay, so coming to Python. Mm, I think everybody know about Python, right? The famous code by the creator of Python, stating that the job of code in Python should be using short, concise, redundant classes, and that it's a lot of actually small amount of clear code. So that is a shows a it's a simple language, and it's a clear code. That's a less code and great things. So it's a the Python is all about all the programming language like C++, C. It's a programming language, and nowadays it's like we have to see a boom in Python program related things. So mainly used for ML, machine language, uh, and the AI related things. Okay. The second thing is Azure functions. So what is mainly Azure functions? It's a one word we can say that it's a serverless computing. That means it's a mainly it's an abstract from servers. That means we are not bothering about the server related things, uh, maintaining less infrastructure uh, and save on cost. And we are not worrying about the deployment and maintaining the servers. When we creating the apps and all the things, we have to know how we can manage that things. But when we create Azure functions, we are not bothering about the infrastructure. That's the main thing. It's a that means it's abstract. It's abstract from service. So we just use that infrastructure and all the provided resources, and we can simply uh, use that things in our Azure function using Azure functions. So yeah, that's called Azure function is a server solution that allows you to write less code, maintaining less infrastructure, and save on cost instead of worrying about deploying and maintaining servers. The cloud infrastructure provides all the up-to-date resources you need to keep your applications running. So that is the thing we achieve when we be using the Azure functions. So that is the basic things uh, covered by the Python and Azure functions. So we can move to the Python. So how we can install Azure, sorry, Python in our for the local development, and how we can manage that using the Visual Studio Code. So uh, just using this Python extension, we have to get the Python extensions from in Visual Studio Code. Otherwise, we can use the python.exe file for installing the Python. Then you can verify the Python version using py command. So it turns the version of the Python. Okay. That is a sample code written in Python. It's still hello printing message. Yeah, then we can move to demo that again show how we can uh, create a Python file and how we can run that in our local system. So, so taking the Visual Studio Code, I think many of us know about the Visual Studio Code. You can use any other IDE tools. Then I'm very comfortable with Visual Studio Code. That's why I'm using Visual Studio Code. So you can use file. In this case, you just select a language, typing Python together. Because of that, we have to install the extensions. That means Python. So I'm already installed that Python extension. That's why it shows that Python is here. Then for the Azure functions, we have some Azure function development tools. That's Azure functions. So this also need to be installed in our system. So that will be it is useful for the Azure function development. Yeah, coming to the Python, we just create a hello world uh, So you can give a name to that. So okay. We can get the intelligence. Okay. Yeah, the extension you have to see that .py. So then you can run this file using different using the command terminal, or you just click here and run Python file in terminal. You can see that it's running. So the hello world message is ready. Yeah, this is the sample program that we have demonstrated for just aware about what is a Python, how you can run, how can you start. Okay, uh, then coming to our slides, we can move into how to create a function in Azure with Python using Azure Script. So the next thing is that how can you create a function, Azure function in Azure, and how can run it in local machine. So all the things, all the Azure functions we can develop that can be run in our local system. That we have to get a local URL, local host URL. Also, you have to deploy that into Azure function app. So then you have to get a URL that can be used as a Azure function URL. Different HTTP methods like post, get. So these are the steps we have to follow to create Azure functions in Visual Studio Code. Yeah, that's the things. Edit, build, and run functions in the Docker development computer. Publish your Azure function project directly to Azure. So the steps for creating a function, just Azure icon in the activity part, then in the Azure function area, select the create new project. So these are the steps when we creating a function. We should follow these things. Okay. The first one is the selected language for the function project. That means, uh, firstly, we have to creating a function using Python. So we should select the languages Python. Then the Python alias to create a virtual environment. Choose the location of your Python interpreter. That means it's a compiler, the Python compiler. You have to choose the which version you have to install your version. Then the third step is you just create a location, create wherever you can in your program. Then next is the template your project first. That means in this case you have to choose the HTTP trigger. That means we have to use all the HTTP methods for triggering functions. Okay. Then always you should give a name. Whatever you want, then you can give a function name. Then the sixth one is the authorization route. That means In this case, we have different authorization, or we can give different authorization for our functions. Uh, Anonymous means we have to access from anywhere. Otherwise, we can give some token-based authentication, API token for example. So in this section, I'm dealing with anonymous functions. So we can see that. Then yeah, so after that we just choose the functions, the workspace. So add to workspace or current window or something. Yeah, and show that. Yeah, I just give what is HTTP trigger, what is anonymous. So HTTP trigger, I already mentioned that it's run function in HTTP trigger service in the web app. It means we have to know about the HTTP request, post and get many requests. So we have to create a function using HTTP trigger. We can use like that. The anonymous means actually you know, use keys to make it harder to access your HTTP function once during your. Yeah, that means I already told that we have to. We have to set in different types of keys. That means when we are creating an anonymous function, there is no bother about these things. But you can create some secure more and you add security to your functions. You should aware of these things. API access keys. So that it's also okay. Okay. So coming to so then I can show you how to create a function in Visual Studio Code. Okay. So we can move to Visual Studio. Yeah. So you can see an icon here, Azure. So click here. Then this create a new project inside the function. Click here. And you should give a folder. You can give a name to that. Uh, okay, or you can you just select a folder here for that function. There is something divide. So you can create a path here. Okay, then you can select the for that steps. We should follow the steps. Currently, we using the Azure functions using Python, so we choose the Python. And then you can choose the interpreter. That means the compare with that. You start here in the system. So I can choose this. C5. Yeah, this is the thing I mentioned the HTTP trigger thing. So you can choose HTTP trigger. Then you can give a name for your function. Enter. So then it's a one type of authorization level. You can choose anonymous. Currently, we are doing anonymous types. So then add your workspace. So you can show here creating your virtual environment for your function. Your type. So yeah, actually the function is created. Yeah, this is the init file. When we create a file function, after you get these much files. So this file is a Python file you can run here. This is an example, that means a simple example how the function is working. Yeah. Okay. just keep that file open. Now you can see that function is running. It took more than time unusual, I think. Yeah, now it's ready. So this is the URL. We can get it's a local host URL, right? So we can run all the functions in local system. So we can copy this file. So you can see the get and post. That's a we use HTTP trigger. So that's why it shows like that. So we can copy this file and go into our browser. You can get browser or Postman. We can run it like here. So this HTTP trigger function is successfully. So in coming to the program, you can see that this HTTP trigger function executed successfully. That is the message we give for that. If we pass a name, we can show how that passed name. So we can try that also. We just pass a query parameter like for name is equal to. You can see the file function is successful. So that is a simple function. How to create a function, how to run it locally. That is the things. These are the steps you have to follow. So yeah, then the next things we need to aware about. How can you deploy a function to Azure function? That means in our portal, how to create a Azure function app and how to deploy that thing into that app. So we can discuss what are the steps you need to follow to deploy that function to your portal. So why we need the deployment? Because of currently we using a function is a local host environment, so we are not expose that to into our project or something. So we need to expose the URL to our project or any other areas. You should deploy that into the Azure platform. So coming to our slide, I just explain the steps. How can you deploy that things? Then we are to go for a demo. Yeah, this is the steps. Create a function app in Azure portal. Yeah. So from the Azure portal, I think all of the people are aware about Azure IDE, that is portal. So in this area, we can create a Azure function and Azure function app. Inside that Azure function, we can create or deploy the function that created from outside. We can deploy that to from we should be a code into that Azure app. So from the Azure portal menu or the home page, select the create resource. And then you page select the new function app. Then when we creating a function app, some steps are following: posting, monitoring, then we will create. Then you should bother about one thing. You can create a global name, unique name for your Azure functions that I'm sure you can give them names. Then the name should type is valid to make sure that it's unique in Azure function. So all the functions are unique. That's why you can give it unique. Then then you should select a region. So they prefer choose a region near. You can know about different regions like Central India, Europe, US, different areas of locations. So you can choose near your areas. That means if you are creating a function from India, you should choose the Central India or something. Okay, then yeah, sign into Azure and deployment. Yeah. So coming to these slides, we can move to Azure and how we can create a function. You can see that. So this is the Azure portal. So in this, you can create a function app. Yeah, actually, I just created some test function apps here. So we can create another one. Create button. Yeah. These are the steps we would follow, basic steps. Basic details we can keep here, and hosting monitoring times we will wait. So then you should select a resource group. So I'm choosing the Azure demo and schooling. So I just choose that. Maybe you can create a resource group for that. You should create new resource group. Otherwise, you can choose from the Azure portal. It's already there. You can choose that. Yeah, then this is function app name. You should give a function maybe it shows the app name is the test is not available. So test demo. Not to work. So we have to get the name test demo to work. The publish code and then stack. You should select Python because we create the function Python. Then the next code and the next is the region. You should select Central India or BLE. Yeah, whatever areas you are belongs to. Okay, I just choose Central India. Okay, next. I think there is no any other things here. Okay, the conception is there. Just choose the conception serverless. Then the monitoring. Maybe it's all the related things, application size and all. Maybe it's all related to your plan, the actual plan. So maybe you are not getting these things. Maybe you can upgrade your plans, getting application size. Tags, you are not having the tags. So we will create. Then these are the things we choose them. Then we just create button. Yeah, actually the deployment is happening here. You can see that in notification bar. Deployment in progress. So then the name is true. Yeah. I think it's completed. So but in progress, still drawing notifications. But all the things are created here. Yeah. Now it's completely it's completed. Your deployment is completed. So you just come into function app. You should see that function here. Maybe it's taking a little time. It's coming. This is the function app you created called test demo. Click on here. You can get a different varieties of things here. You can configure other things, authentication, configuration, other things as here. So we have to move to the functions. This is the area we can focus. Now click the functions. So here there is no functions. So coming to our next thing is deployment. So when we create, after creating a function app, you should go back to our Visual Studio Code, and this is the function we created. So we just deploy this function to our function app. So the next is how to deploy this function to our this test demo browser. Okay, and you can see here after the deployment, you can see here the function name. Okay, so coming to this, I'm just going to the slides. What are the steps we follow? How to deploy? Yeah. So the function creation is completed. So then the next is how to sign into Azure and deploy. So you should deploy a function. You can deploy a function after signing to Azure portal. So you should have a credential for that, and then you sign into Azure portal. Then you can upload or deploy your project function to that app you create. Okay. So yeah. So we can move into that session. So how to deploy a function app, sorry, a function to your function app. Yeah. Here we just start the function and go into this. I think you so that we should be identified. So I just already connected later. That's why all the things listed here. We created a demo here, so I can show how to connect Azure and we can disconnect this thing and we can reconnect. So you just click on the Azure sign up and it can sign out. Then you just click on the sign into Azure area. Click on this. So you should select your account. Yeah, you are signing in now and you can close this page. Okay, so I'm authenticated and we have to see it's connected or not. Yeah, it's connected. So the test demo is there, all the functions are listed here. Yeah, then how we can deploy this function to our this test demo. So click on this deployment, deploy to functional. Click on this icon. Yeah, then you can choose which function app you create. So these are the function app created from my side. So this is the last we created. So click on this test demo. Yeah, then it shows the this deployment overwrite all the other deployments. Yeah, you can deploy here. So the deployment is happening. So yeah, we need to take. So after deploying, you can get a function URL. In this case, you can also get a URL from here also. Yeah, okay. The deployment to the test demo is completed. So okay. Okay, then you just move into our Azure, click in the test demo. Yeah, demo function 2. That is the function you created in Visual Studio. Okay, demo function 12. Okay. So in this case, you can click here This is the function you created in Visual Studio, but in that case, you just accessing local development. But you can expose that function URL to other programs or others. You can use this get function URL. So you can get here get function URL. This is the function URL. So you can copy that and run here. The same thing. There is no difference between the working and all, but you can get the Azure URL for that your function. So you can call it from Postman. You can call it from call it from other projects, and you can use your function in that whatever the areas you can explore the functions in your project or in your any other areas. Okay, then so in that case we can also pass a name to this function. Okay. So the program is same. We can create it in local system, and we can create and deploy the same program. So the output and all the things are same, but the working of that function is different. It's from localhost and it's from Azure Functions app. Okay, so you are not bothering about any other whatever what we call that is infrastructure. We are not bothered about the infrastructure. What are the size? What are the cost? All the things. It's a serverless computing. So it's hide the servers, abstract from servers. So the word is actually meaning the abstraction of servers. So you can just use the URL. What are the things you can pass? You can get the out. That's all. Okay. Then that is the things we discussed: how to create a Python file, how to create Azure functions, how to deploy Azure functions, how to run local Azure functions, then deploy to functional. Okay, so yeah. Then coming to our slide, yeah, the last step we have to do, the function is deployed to successfully deployed to our function app, and you get the URL. The next is yeah, the last thing is the demo. The same thing. I just give a demo related to the ML a program is there. So it's called a text summarization. So how we can deploy and run that in our using our function. We can see that also. Okay, that function is mainly used for text wrapping. That means we have to give a huge amount of content, and that function returns a summary of that huge content. So yeah, we can see that also. I already have the project, so we need to open that in our code. Okay, so this is the text summarization function. Then this is the Python file we created for the text summarization. This is the code. It's a simple ML related program that summarizes the text, and also it uses some NLTK resources and other things. But I'm not giving the detailed things of that things. I just give how to deploy this function to our functional and how to run this function. Okay. So we can run it here. Uh, Something. Okay, we can open that file. Don't know what happened here. So maybe I choosing the wrong file.
Jitin, I think you need to run it as a
Yeah.
Azure function. Yeah, right now I think you are trying to run it as Python file.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay. I think select like this.
Jitin, can you close it and
Yeah.
open it? And when you when code is asking for that, should we
Oh, add that.
enable Azure? Yeah,
Oh,
you need to choose yes.
okay, okay. Okay, okay. Yeah, got it. Now we can go to Python. Python. Yeah, it's running, I think. So we can wait. So currently, we get the localhost URL here. Then we can upload or deploy that into our Azure app. So after getting this. Yeah, now it's running, and we get localhost URL. That is same as what we discussed later. That is the same thing, but the function name is changed. That is summarization. So uh, then we can move into that deployment for how to deploy this function to Azure app. Then we can explore that in using a postman post method or something. We can explore that too. So we just deploy. You can choose what are the test network or any other function app you created. Then click deploy. So the deployment is happening. So we can wait for a little time. So we can move into the Azure portal, and when we click on this function app, then here actually we deploy one function here in test demo. Click on functions. After deployment, we can see the text summarization function also. So the deployment is in progress. So we can wait for until it's completed. Yeah, the deployment to test demo is completed. So we can move to Azure portal. Just refresh here. Anyway, it's working. Yeah, the function is the text summarization. So we can, yeah, this is a function we recently published. So this is the function URL. Click the get function URL. You get the URL test demo, then test summarization. So go with the function. And in this function, yeah, coming to that program, we just show that we can pass a content, then they process the content and create a synopsis or a just a brief of that content. So we have to experiment that thing, how it can work. Okay, so we create a new post method. We copy the paste. You can use the URL from that portal, paste here, and choose the post. And also you should give a content body. It's like a JSON. I just prepared a content, some global one. I just paste here. So I think this is a two paragraph of content here. Let us do some global one or something. So we can send it to that function, how it works, how we can get the summarized content. Just click send. Yeah, we got a summarized text here. So it can be used like a introduction or something. You can get as a summarized text from a huge content. So it's not a totally trained system, ML program, but it's just a but you just give it, you get a summarization of that, whatever the content you give. Okay, yeah. So the demo is completed. Then yeah, that is all from my side. So is there any question or something? You can chat, put a chat on that, or you can contact me on Twitter. So
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zidin. Thank you for the interesting session. There was one question from Vishwas. So he
Okay.
was asked, like, can we migrate different services from Azure, like web apps or apps that are different services to Azure? So, like, I responded, like, we can, but it's depends on use case. Do you want to add anything more?
Uh, yeah, that means he wanted to know how to migrate the things.
No, so I think what he was asking, like, can we migrate a web app as it is to the Azure function, or
Oh, okay, okay.
something like that?
Okay, but for the Azure functions, we just using not like that actually, uh, and that's don't know. It's don't know. Maybe in my point, we just use the Azure functions like a inside a program. We can just call it from for a particular set of actions. Like yeah, the last I just show a demo for that content summarization. So you just need a summary for a content. You just call Azure functions into your program. So I think that's the use case of functions. I think.
So what you're saying, it can be used as a like for a microservice kind of
Yeah.
implementation.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Hope Vishwas, hope your doubt got clarified. Uh, Folks, thank you for watching the session. You can contact Jitin. He already shared his LinkedIn and Twitter contact details. Uh, we will be doing another session on next month, almost same time. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, we'll close the session.
Thanks, Andreas. Thank you all. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to take a session. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Looks like there is no questions then. Anyway,
Okay.
thank you again, thank you everyone, thank you for attending. Thanks Jidin for giving an interesting session on Azure functions using Python. Uh, like uh, uh, yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Thank you. Since there is no questions, I am stopping the session. Thank you.
Okay.
I am stopping the
Okay.
broadcast. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.